away from your washing machine, you'll find a really interesting hydrodynamic mechanism, specifically in the fabric softener tray. This bit here, that's a lid. Here's the compartment itself, and you'll notice it's completely sealed. If I fill this thing with liquid, there's nowhere for it to go. But if I keep filling, eventually it reaches the opening at the top of this tube here, and it starts to pour through the
like the bath when it's full,
yeah. It comes out the back here. But the liquid doesn't empty completely. It remains at the same level
surface
as that
tension
opening at the top of the tube. So how is it that when I put fabric softener in the washing machine and I come back after the wash is finished, that compartment is completely empty? How does the liquid get out? Well, here's a clue. When I put this lid back on, watch what happens.
Ah!
The liquid empties out. How is that? Let's take a closer look at the lid. There's nothing particularly interesting about the lid. You've got this tube here, there's nothing interesting at the bottom of it, and that fits over the tube that's embedded in the tray itself. Let's see what happens when we slowly fill the tray with liquid when the lid is on.
Oh, it puts the tube around the tube, and because of the pressure differences, the water has to come up. It's getting trained above, and then goes back down. It has to.
It fills up and fills up and fills up until you get to a certain point, and then it all drains away. The mechanism is called a Pythagorean siphon, or a Pythagorean cup, or a greedy cup siphon. I've seen two-dimensional animations of it online, but I thought even better would be to build a two-dimensional.
I like this guy a lot. I like this guy a lot. But this guy seems to, he's on a date and he's doing pretty good. And then something happens at the bar or whatever, and then he explains it to the girl, and the girl is like actually falling asleep entirely. And she's completely done.
Of the Pythagorean cup. This is obviously not a two-dimensional object. It's three-dimensional because we live in a three-dimensional universe, but it is two-dimensional in some sense, in the sense that nothing interesting is happening in that third dimension, only this dimension and this dimension. Let's see what happens when we start pouring.
Was that rude? Okay, I'm done.
The level of liquid in these two chambers is the same as the level of liquid in the main chambers. That's because the pressure is the same in both of those places. But when the liquid reaches the top edge here and spills into that central chamber,
because it's above, it's heavy.
It falls down because of gravity. But crucially, the liquid forms a kind of seal because of surface.
It's not heavy, but it's heavy because of gravity. It's not heavy, I misworded it, but you get it though. It would push it down equally, but it can't, because that one is stuck at the top. It can't go up anywhere. So then it has to go boom.
Surface tension. Like if air was able to break up through the liquid, then the siphon effect wouldn't work at all. But because of the seal created by the surface tension of the liquid, the weight of all that water in the central chamber pulls the rest of the liquid out of the device.
What the fuck was that? Wait, I was wrong. I don't know what the fuck, I don't even know what the fuck.
By the surface tension of the liquid, the weight of all that water in the central chamber pulls the rest of the liquid out of the device until it's almost completely empty. And of course, that's the purpose of the mechanism in the fabric softener tray. You put your fabric softener in there and you're told, don't put it above this line, otherwise it's all gonna go. And then when the machine wants the fabric softener, it adds water to the tray until it reaches that critical level. Then it all pours out, fabric softener and all. It's actually quite similar to a regular siphon. The big difference is it's self-starting. Like with a regular siphon, you need to suck on the pipe to bring the fluid up to the top. And back down again below the level of the top of the liquid for it to start.
Have to suck on that pipe.
Cup siphon, that happens automatically as you're pouring the liquid into the container, because the equivalent of the straw in this example is below the top of the container. This is the traditional Pythagorean cup or greedy cup. You can just about see the hole in the bottom there, and here it is in action.
And it just sucks it all up. Oh, you motherfucker.
Even better, here's a glass version so you can see what's going on inside. There's the hole at the bottom there, and look at the top, you can see the equivalent of what I've got in my two-dimensional version.
But that's absolutely busted.
At this point in the video, many of you will have already said out loud, that's how a toilet works. Well, the flush mechanism in a toilet, I wouldn't exactly call it a greedy cup siphon. It is a siphon though, and actually the way it's activated is really interesting. Urinals, or urinals, depending on how you pronounce it, are interesting that's connected.
I have ADHD.
Shuts off.
I have a free pass for skipping videos. I have ADHD.
Doesn't actually
Just kidding,
start the
I don't.
siphon process.
But
It
still,
just
I'm still
dribbles
skipping.
down that central channel. And that's what happens if you've got a leaky toilet.
Yeah, I gotta go to the urinal. What the fuck is that?
You can
Nobody
hear
says
your
that shit.
toilet.
What?
You pull the lever on the toilet, it lifts this up. Can you see at the bottom there's these slats? So what happens is if you keep the lever of the toilet pressed down, this thing stays up in this position, and then as the water drains out of the cistern, it gets down to this point here, and air can get in through those gaps, and that air cuts off the siphon, so only half the cistern drains. But if you pull the lever and then
This is too complicated. I'm just gonna say it's magic, and I'll say I'm right. Also, now show me the guy. Guys, show me. We hot. What is this?